accused of the same crime. But at this rate, Rodney may not be released from prison until he's 19, and by that point, it may be tough for him to turn his life around. Despite Rodney's posts on social media and lyrics in his music, it's clear that he wasn't ready to handle the lifestyle he got himself involved in. In a Zoom video where he was sentenced for the shooting and violating probation, he breaks down crying and begs the court to give him a second chance.
I know 11-year-olds are supposed to have guns, right? After they've been accused of shooting a baby. Right?
Yes,
so, Mr. Moore, what should I do at this point? Like, where am I at?
Well, I don't know, but I was trying to see, could you at least give me one more chance and then see if this time I mess up, you should like hold me for some months.
The judge presiding over the case, Judge Kim, makes a point of saying that he has dealt with Rodney several times before, and every time they release him because he's so young. Yet, every time he's let go, he takes to social media to make light of the situation and return to toting guns and smoking weed on camera.
Yeah, but didn't you say that last time? You told me to hold you for a year last time if I mess up, didn't you?
I never said that. I don't remember.
What? Yeah, you told me that I can hold you next time. Give me one more chance. Actually, you said that two times. So, and remember, the last time I said, well, that's what you said last time. Why should I believe you this time?
Rodney's case is very similar to the case of another young Texas rapper who blew up, only to have his past crimes ruin his prospects of a career. Tay K. Tay K, of course, is the rapper from Arlington, Texas, who is famous for his viral hit, The Race. Tay K was involved in a botched robbery that resulted in someone being murdered and was put on house arrest. Just like Lil Rodney, Tay K also had ties to the Crips and ended up cutting off his ankle monitor to go on the run. He then released his viral hit, The Race, only to be apprehended by police and sentenced to 51 years in prison for his involvement in crimes that took place before and after he went on the run. To learn more about Tay K and his criminal past, check out our videos on rappers who are killers and rappers in gangs. Although Tay K was 17 at the time of his crimes, and his victims were mostly young adults like himself and not babies, there are many similarities between the two situations. Lil Rodney was caught up in a whirlwind of attention that got him respect and clout for his bad behavior, but ultimately, his actions got him caught up in a situation that his friends and social media followers could not get him out of: prison. In another Zoom video regarding Rodney's case, Judge Kim tries to instill a hard lesson into Rodney and explain some of his negative behavior. He tells him because he tries too hard to act like an adult, he's now being forced to make adult decisions and take stock of the people in his life.
You kind of have to do an inventory. You have to figure out who in your life is here for you and who in your life isn't. There are certain people that say they care about you, but they don't actually care about you. That's part of why you're here. Part of the problems that you have is you're associating with other young men that don't really care about you. They're just using you for their own purposes. Looks like your mom's doing the same thing.
Although his grandfather is present at the hearing, Rodney's mother is absent. Judge Kim tells Rodney that he needs to look at the people he's around who are trying to help him and those who are holding him back. He claims that Rodney's mother has the opportunity to be on the call and chose not to because she does not have his best interests at heart.
I know you're saying that she could do something. What I'm saying is she hasn't actually done anything. She's not there for you. She's out there on social media. Don't think I don't know about this. She's out there trying to get fame off of you, but she's doing nothing to help you. All right? She's left you here. There's one person that shows up day in and day out.
Being so young when she gave birth to him, Rodney's mother likely struggled to be a positive role model and provide the structure he needed to make good decisions. Judge Kim makes the point that because Rodney was not given the positive attention he needed to properly develop, he sought negative attention from local gangs and his followers on social media. He makes the point that social media can be especially dangerous in situations like this because it provides kids like Rodney attention and praise for engaging in negative behaviors that could put them in trouble. Yet, because he's not receiving any of the positive attention he needs at home, as soon as he's let out of jail, he's back to the same antics and behaviors that got him locked up in the first place. So despite the terrible crime he's accused of, Rodney is not a hardened criminal with no regard for life. Maybe he's just a lost kid who didn't have the right role models and got sucked into a world of crime and clickbait that he wasn't ready to handle. Judge Kim eventually sentences him to a a sentence of up to 7 years, which is dependent on his choices. He'll be sent to a juvenile detention center where his behavior will be closely monitored. If he does well and cooperates with authorities, he could be released in as little as 6 to 9 months. But if he continues to act out and not abide by the rules of the system, he could return to a more serious detention facility where he will remain until he's 19. However, Rodney's chances for early release are not looking great, since it's been reported that while in jail, he started a large Bloods vs Crips brawl. So the odds of him keeping his head down and focusing on his schoolwork seem unlikely. Rodney could have real potential as a rapper if he focused on his music career rather than his street antics. Although he's still young and many of his bars are surface level and derivative, the fact that he was able to capture the attention of major names at such a young age shows that he has promise. Apparently, before the shooting incident, Jay Prince's son had posted his videos to social media and he claims he linked up with NBA YoungBoy at some point. However, being so young, it's likely that all the clout went to his head and led him to think that he was ready to handle situations he wasn't grown up enough to understand. Lil Rodney's story is one of a young rapper who didn't have the proper guidance or role models to take his talents in a positive direction. The circumstances surrounding what occurred when he shot the 1-year-old child are not entirely clear, but despite his mother's claims that he's innocent and being taken advantage of by older gang members, Rodney testified before the court that he was the one handling the gun that was fired and he's not taking the rap for anyone else. He also claims that he found the gun in the bushes, so you may have to take his testimony with a grain of salt. But in the same video, he gives the judge the name of another associate who gave him the guns he's shown holding on social media, clearly violating the street code and proving he's not as tough as he claims on social media. Plus, according to his testimony, it seems more likely that Rodney was carrying a weapon he was too young to properly handle and the infant was the victim of a misfire. Not that he was caught up in some gang beef that was so deadly, even babies weren't safe. Rodney likely won't understand the severity of his crime until he's much older and has had some time to reflect on his actions. However, being caught up in the system from such a young age won't likely turn him around unless he decides to alter his behavior. Hopefully, he decides to make a change and focus on his music career rather than the streets. Otherwise, he may end up spending the rest of his life in and out of jail. If you like this video, check out some of our previous videos. From rappers and gangs to rappers caught snitching, we cover the most insane stories that you need to hear. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see in the future. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button so you never miss any great content like this. Catch you in the next video. Local Crip gang. Lil Rodney had been gaining attention in the Texas rap scene for being a wild young rapper who frequently made violent threats in his music and posting videos on social media holding guns and smoking weed.
Yo, bitch ass nigga, niggas no nigga. Yo, hoe ass nigga, pussy ass boy, yo. Come get that. Come get y'all punches, man.
He had public beef with another Fort Worth rapper named NCG Nate B that resulted in an altercation at a local mall.
Lil Rodney, he just be talking. Y'all look, y'all want me to give him a wedgie or not? On God, I'll give him a wedgie right now on Jesus. I won't. Look, he finna run.
Nate B is much older than Lil Rodney, and when he pulled up on him and his friend, they didn't want the smoke. However, Rodney was back on social media later that day to call Kenny B and his crew weak for trying to embarrass him. So despite the tough talk and associations with local gangs, Lil Rodney was still too young to truly live up to the gangster persona he lived in his music. Before the shooting that made headlines, Lil Rodney had been arrested and put on probation for arson charges. He had been in and out of the system from home. The events that transpired after that are unclear. Because Rodney is still a juvenile, certain details and court records have not been made available to the public. But at some point, a 1-year-old child was shot, and authorities apprehended Rodney as the suspected shooter. In an interview, Rodney's mother claims that he was not actually the shooter, but rather he was pressured by older people he was around to take the fall for the crime.
He was helping Lil Rodney at some point, or he was trying to help him?
No.
Okay.
And I get my hair done by this lady, and I guess she's his cousin or something like that. He saw me there once. But other than that, he don't know me or nothing about my son. You feel me?
Any grown adult that was accused of shooting a 1-year-old child will likely spend the rest of their lives in prison. Rodney's mother claims that because he's so young and impressionable and trying to portray a gangster image, he got caught up trying to impress his friends and took the heat for a serious charge. Because he's a juvenile,